It all starts with a single slave girl and spirals into a world-shattering power. You guessed it. We're talking about the 9 Titans, the absolute engine that drives the entire story of Attack on Titan. So today, we're going to break it all down, what they are, where they came from, and why their unbelievable powers always come with a terrible, terrible price.
So the big question right off the bat is, where did these things even come from? To get to the bottom of that, we're going to need a solid game plan.
And here it is. We're kicking things off with the legend of Ymir, the OG Titan. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of each one, from the god-tier founder to the specialized soldiers. And we'll wrap up by uncovering that final, game-changing Titan that was kept under wraps for so long.
All right, our story begins not with some huge battle, but with a single person, 2,000 years in the past. It all starts with a slave girl named Ymir, who basically stumbled upon a power that would turn her into both a god and a weapon.
Okay, so Ymir's life was just brutal. After getting blamed for something as simple as letting a pig escape, she was literally hunted for sport. While running for her life, she falls into this bizarre, ancient tree and bonds with some kind of glowing spinal creature. And bam, she becomes the very first Titan. But, this incredible power didn't give her freedom. Nope. She just became the king's ultimate weapon. After just 13 years, she dies protecting him. And her death? It wasn't the end, it was the start of this horrifying tradition where her own daughters were forced to eat her body to make sure the power and the curse lived on. And that horrific act leads us to one of the most critical rules in the entire series, the Curse of Ymir. Because she only lived for 13 years after getting her power, no Titan shifter who comes after her can ever live longer than that. This right here creates almost all of the tension and urgency in the story. Our characters have this immense power, but it comes with a ticking clock. It forces them to make these huge, desperate moves because, well, they know their time is running out.
Okay, so let's talk about the big one, the most powerful of the 9. This is the Central Command, the main server from which all other Titan powers originate. This is the one that started it all, and in a lot of ways, the one that controls it all.
Think of the founder as the server admin for every single Eldian. It can control every other Titan, it can wipe the memories of an entire population, and it can even build those colossal walls that are so iconic. But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive catch. Its true power was locked to people with royal blood.
And this is where the story's core political dilemma comes in. The 145th king, feeling all the guilt from his ancestors' bloody history, used the founder's power to create a vow of pacifism. What that meant was for over 100 years, the one family that could actually use this ultimate weapon was philosophically handcuffed. They refused to use it, and that decision sealed Paradis's fate until an outsider finally came along and shattered that cycle.
Next up, we've got the heavy hitters. These are the 2 Titans that are basically the vanguard of any military operation. They represent the 2 simplest ideas in war: overwhelming offense and an impenetrable defense.
On one hand, you had the colossal Titan. It's basically a walking nuclear bomb. Its transformation alone can wipe a whole city off the map. But its massive size makes it incredibly slow, and it literally burns through its own body to function. Then on the other hand, you have the armored Titan, a living, breathing tank made for just smashing through enemy lines. Its armor is nearly unbreakable, but that comes at the cost of speed. And as we find out later, it's not so invincible when you start throwing advanced weaponry at it.
So beyond just brute force, Ymir's power splintered into these really specialized forms. Each one of these Titans has a totally unique role on the battlefield, moving way beyond just punching things really hard.
And this is where the power set gets super diverse and interesting. You've got Titans built for specific jobs. The mysterious Attack Titan, which we'll get to in just a sec, the Female Titan, kind of a jack of all trades, the Beast Titan, whose form is unique to its user, the Cart Titan, built for endurance and long-haul missions, and of course, the Jaw Titan, a lightning-fast assassin with a bite that can break literally anything.
Now, the Attack Titan, the one that shares its name with the whole show. It's defined by one single driving purpose. It always pushes forward, always fighting for freedom. And this will is so incredibly strong that it allows its users to see memories of its future inheritors. Yeah, you heard me right. It basically breaks the rules of time.
And just when you think you've got the rules all figured out, the story throws a curveball. See, Falco's Jaw Titan developed the ability to fly, Why? Because right before he transformed, he had ingested some of Zeke's Beast Titan spinal fluid. This is such a cool detail, because it proves that the abilities of the Nine aren't totally set in stone. They can actually be influenced by how they're inherited, which can lead to some really powerful and unexpected changes.
And finally, we get to the last piece of the puzzle, the last of the 9 to be revealed. This Titan was held in secret by the Tiber family for generations, and it operates on a completely different set of rules from all the others.
So what makes the Warhammer so unique is its remote control ability. The actual user is chilling safely inside this nearly indestructible crystal, controlling the Titan body through like a flesh-based extension cord. You combine that with its power to instantly create any weapon it wants out of hardened Titan flesh, and it's almost impossible to beat in a straight fight. To win, you have to find and somehow destroy that crystal.
This, of course, led to Aaron's absolutely brutal but brilliant strategy. He couldn't break the Warhammer's crystal defense on his own, so he used another Titan as a tool. He literally forced the Jaw Titan to bite down on the crystal, turning its greatest strength, that unstoppable bite, into the perfect nutcracker for the Warhammer's greatest defense. Just genius.
And all of that brings us to the ultimate question of the entire series. For 2,000 years, these 9 incredible powers were kept separate. But now, for the first time since Ymir herself, they are all converging inside one person. So, if just one of these powers can level a city or topple an entire nation, what happens when all 9 are finally unleashed as one? That's a thought that defines the whole final act of this incredible story.